What's going on, guys? It's GBP baby. Welcome back to another video. I hope everybody's doing well, and hopefully you've watched yesterday's video. If not, do go and check it out, and let's dive straight into things. So we're here on the daily on dollar, and in yesterday's video you'll recall me saying how I'm looking for price to push into this buy side liquidity and start to trade into this range right here. So it was nice to see Monday's high get taken just as anticipated, and then we had a strong reaction away from that, pulling back down into the previous day's wick, and then we came back up off that. So price is very interesting right now. Absolutely beautiful day, going on some beautiful moves, and remember, I am overall expecting this sell side liquidity to get taken here and here, but I do think that's going to happen later in the week, either moving into tomorrow or on Thursday. So I am still bullish in terms of wanting to see the continued rallying, meaning that I'm happy for now that Tuesday high to potentially be taken. But let's drop down to the 4 hour and take a closer look, and you'll see what I mean. So we took out the buy side liquidity, and as soon as we done that, price delivered strongly to the downside, filling in this fair value gap right here, which is now an inversion fair value gap. I'll just delineate that like so. And then you'll see that we traded down into the discount PDA rate, which I also marked out. Is this from the hourly? From the hourly, which is a fair value gap, came down, filled that, and then we've left that. So we're going from PDA rate to PDA rate. We've took out a buy side PDA rate, then we've gone down into a 1 hour PDA rate. So now I'm expecting some kind of premium. All prices is flip between premium, discount, premium, discount, premium, discount. And as far as I'm concerned, we're not finished up here. So that means I'm happy for my next premium PDA rate to be above this high, which is also relatively equal highs as well. So moving into tomorrow, I am expecting a continuation higher. And another thing that's playing into that is, one, we've got an inversion fair value gap, which we're now on the buy side of. So let's just delete a few things to clear it up a little bit. So we're now on the buy side of this inversion fair value gap. So we delivered on the upside, closed on the downside, and we're back above it again, meaning that as far as I'm concerned, this should provide bullishness, and this midpoint will be the very lowest I expect price to trade if we are to be running for this high. If we're not to run for that high, then we'll see this get violated, and we can start looking for that Monday low to get targeted. But so long as we're above here, moving into the London session, etc., I'm happy to expect expansion to the upside and into that buy side liquidity pool. Another thing that's adding to this is the Sunday opening price. So let's just thicken this up. Here's the Sunday opening price. We traded below it, above it, below it, and we're back above it again. Price will use the Sunday opening price as like a barometer, but and you can see our price responds to it sometimes, like here. But the fact that we so strongly traded above it, closed above it, and it's continued to march higher, I'd like to think that that's indicative that we may continue to see us rallying to the buy side. So I am looking for this fair value gap to get traded to, and then it'd be nice to see if we can reach up into this premium, which I originally had my eye set on from yesterday's video. So do go check that out if you haven't yet already. But very interesting reversal right here, low, high, lower, low, little breaker right here. And you can see our price has managed to find support there, and then has ran on higher. So moving into that Asia session and into that early London session, I'd like to think that we can continue to see that upwards price action. Beautiful trade down into this fair value gap, which is also lined up with a breaker here, low, high, lower, low. So that's another reason as to why we expect a reaction at this point, because this is a breaker. So there's a few things that I add into my bias right now, but overall I'm still looking for that high of the week to get made, as I'm not completely convinced that we're done, purely because of how we turned at this PDA rate, which I delineated. If we traded through this PDA rate, it would have been another story, because it would have used as resistance, and then we could have started looking at that sell side liquidity and these lows. But until like we're below this, we're seeing full on displacement to the downside, candles like this, then there's no reason for me to be bearish. And I do think this is just a point of manipulation, and we should take that into consideration. So with that taken into account, we are going to go on to GBP USD. Absolutely gorgeous delivery over here as well. We will start on the daily, and you'll see that GBP failed to take out the same low. So we're seeing, although dollar managed to take out the high, pound didn't manage to take out the low, which means there's still reason and room for price to want to come down into that. So I am still paying close attention to this south side liquidity pool as a point of expansion. But let's go to the 4 hour, and you'll see our price traded nicely into this gap right here. Look at volume, respecting that midpoint, and then I'm liking the look of these big large candles. We've ran out stops above these highs, relatively equal highs, traded up into the midpoint of here, or just above it. And overall, if we're expecting dollars to be rallying, we want to see if pound can start to tread on lower. So let's go to the 1 hour, take a closer look. I do need a daily divider, so just bear with me. and we do have high impact news in the morning, which we'll probably see pound catch up to what dollar and euro are doing, because we know that pound's lagging behind slightly right now, which is very typical, but you know. And then if we look at the Sunday opening price, which is right here, you'll see we're back above that Sunday opening price, and we've tapped it down below it twice. But I'd like to think that this is what we call I'd like to see this as a failure swing, to be honest. Let's add dollar real quick. Yeah, we're seeing strength here, and we're seeing lower here. Let's see what euro's doing. Euro didn't manage to take out that low. So this is a classic example of where we're seeing divergence, in that euros managed to take out. Oh no, my bad. Never mind. This isn't divergence. But anyway, my point is, the way we've turned in here and we've had this rejection, and now we're kind of consolidating about, I do want to see price roll over and roll on lower. So I'm going to clear a few things up. Don't need this right now. Don't want this anymore. Don't want this. We'll get rid of that. And then moving into the new day, I'd like to think that price will pull back on itself and start looking for this sell side liquidity pool below here and here, and back below this Sunday opening price. Especially the way we're consolidating right here, not the best price action, but I'll be paying close attention to the midpoint, which is right here. You can see our price is almost tapped into it already, but so long as we're below there, I'm happy to remain pretty strongly bearish, with the expectation that price will roll on down and take out our sell stops and run to our original targets. So that's everything on pound. I hope that all makes sense. Nothing too complicated, but this consolidation that we've been in since New York, sorry, they're obviously revving it up for something, and I can imagine inflation rate will do that. So we'll see how that delivers. We are going to finish up on Euro USD, of course. Let's go to the daily. And you'll see that euro showing way more weakness. And I did say this in yesterday's video, I believe, or the day before. I was stating how it's likely euro will be the weaker pair, and we did see that today. Interesting to see how we traded up into the 25% level of this wick, got rejected, closed below took out this low as well. So you know, there's a willingness to want to go lower. I'm still expecting price to want to reach down into the south side liquidity. And you'll see our price turn pretty much gorgeously in that fair value gap, just as I delineated. I said I want to see price trade up to here. We did manage to reach it. We didn't take out the lows first, which was interesting. We ran for this first, but that now means that we can now look at this as a viable target. Turned around within the fair value gap, tapped it one last time at the midpoint. Look at this. Came up, tapped it, and then we've left it again. So I'm still expecting a continuation and a rollover into the new day for price to continue lower. To help support this, we can look at this inversion fair value gap. Let's drag that through, and again, midpoint highest I want to see price trade. It can get above it, guys. I'm not saying it can't. I'm just saying I'll be using this as barometers. And if price taps into it and then we see a reversal there, that will set us up nicely for potential shorts. So yeah, I'm going to be paying attention to this range because it's an inversion fair value gap, delivery on the upside, close on the downside. If we tap into it now, we should expect it to act bearishly, and for us to start looking for this low and then our original targets below there. And we got a nice bearish order block right here to help support that inside of it. So I hope that all makes sense, guys. Yeah, pretty nice day. I'd say New York was quite complex. I didn't trade New York, I did trade the London. And I do think tomorrow we'll see more movement in New York and London, especially with the inflation rate on pound. So I'll definitely be looking for my classic 3 a.m. setups. And yeah, don't forget to drop a like, drop a comment, smash subscribe, join the mailing list, join me over on Discord, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.